Now to investigating the investigators, the Justice Department expanding its internal investigation into the FBI's Russia probe after a high-level White House meeting with President Trump. Inspector General Michael Horowitz will now look into, quote, any irregularities with the tactics concerning the Trump campaign. This is former pollster and chief strategist for Bill and Hillary Clinton, Mark Penn, is calling for the special counsel's investigation to come to an end. In an op-ed for The Hill, Mark Penn writes this in part, quote, the Mueller investigation has been a scorched earth effort to investigate the entirety of the Trump campaign, Trump business dealings, and the entire administration. This process must now be stopped, preferably long before a vote in the Senate. Rather than a fair, limited, and impartial investigation, the Mueller investigation became a partisan, open-ended inquisition that, by its precedent, is a threat to all those who ever want to participate in a national campaign or an administration again. Joining me right now is Mark Penn himself, the former senior advisor to the Clintons, president and managing partner of the Stagwell Group, and the author of Microtrends Squared. Mark Penn is here. Also with me here in the studio is former Whitewater independent counsel, former federal prosecutor, Thompson and Knight partner Robert Ray. Great to see you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
Mark, quite an op-ed again. You've been really calling balls and strikes, frankly, pretty accurately with your op-eds. What was the reaction to this op-ed, and tell us more?
Well, I think the reaction has been overwhelming. I really think it struck a chord. You know, when I said that, look, the deep state is about to get a reckoning here because we're going to get the Inspector General's report, and I think that the Nunes and others have been vigilant in saying they're going to get to the bottom of the start of this investigation. But it's been overwhelming. I even get letters from people who went through the independent counsel process and had their lives ruined. And, you know, we just can't have a process in America that ruins people who want to participate in political campaigns or administrations as parts of never-ending investigations. It's just wrong.
Yeah, and, you know, in your op-ed, you talk about a conversation had with George Papadopoulos, a foreign policy advisor to the Trump campaign. And you asked the question, how did the FBI know they should talk to him in the first place? That is left out of the narrative. And Robert, Devin Nunes has been with me many times on this program and on my Sunday morning program, and he says there was no official intelligence used to launch a probe into potential collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians. Your thoughts?
I don't know, my thoughts
He's trying to get to how the probe started in the first place.
Which is a legitimate question, right? I mean, that's the thing that you do want to know, because that's something that people should be held accountable for, at least in the political process, and to the extent that there are structural issues about the way the Department of Justice functions and the way the FBI functions. Those are things that need to be addressed by Congress in its oversight capacity. That's exactly where Congress should be. Look, on the independent counsel statute, that's the reason the independent counsel statute was not reenacted. Both parties, I think, had felt that they had become victims of unaccountable prosecutors. We now have a different system in place. I guess it's a reasonable question whether that different system is better. It's a regulatory special counsel appointed in this case by the Deputy Attorney General. I have said from the very beginning that I don't think that this investigation should last throughout for an indefinite term or throughout the president's term in office. This is something that I think in the political process, it's desirable for the country and for the political process if this can be brought to a conclusion before the election cycle, before the midterm election cycle.
Especially since, Mark, you've got, first it was obstruction. Well, actually, second it was obstruction. First it was collusion. Then they said that they were looking for obstruction. And then they're basically trying to get tapes on Stormy Daniels. I mean, this investigation has gone in so many places, which is why you write that this is, at this point, an effort to just take down Donald Trump and investigate Donald Trump in any which way.
Well, it's 1998 all over again. I mean, did we not learn anything from wasting a year? That's why I say, do we really want this thing to go to another pointless vote in the Senate when 2 years has been spent here? Nothing of any substance directly related to Russia collusion has been found in any way. It's time to figure out how to end this process and get out of it. But most importantly, the deep state's got to be held accountable here. Was this investigation of Hillary and her server a fair one? Was the meeting between the Attorney General and the President the right thing to do? Why did so many people seem to abuse their power here? This is a real question that we can't back away from.
I agree with you.
Well, that's why you have an investigation, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, look, people find it unseemly about the tactics that prosecutors apply in order to get at the truth, and it is, you know, they're harsh and intended to be harsh. That's why it's a dangerous power to be exercised. That's why people need to be held to account for an improper exercise of that power, and it's particularly acute when you're talking about mixing politics and the tools of prosecution.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what the Inspector General's report, I imagine, we'll see in the next, you know, this week or next.
Right.
About what happened with regard to the Attorney General, the former president, whether there were any improper efforts, you know, to play politics with regard to an investigation, and whether certain people, frankly, should have recused themselves and done so openly. It's what put Jim Comey in a very awkward position, because I don't think the Attorney General did what she should have done.
Will we see justice? Bottom line, we're going to get the IG report. Will we see justice, Mark?
I think if the IG report does blast Comey, it will open the floodgates here. If it doesn't, well, then I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't expect Michael Horowitz to be pulling punches. I think that is going to be a harsh report and hold a lot of different people to account for what happened.
We'll see. We should get the report soon. Robert Ray and Mark Penn, good to see you both. Thank you, gentlemen.